Chenyu. Ming has a fever, 37.2 degrees. He's all alone in the country with no one to turn to. If I don't go, who will? Can you stop being so cold-blooded? Lin Wan slammed the Wellington steak, which she hadn't even cut, heavily onto the plate. The sauce splattered all over me. My white shirt was instantly stained with brown spots, much like my awkward situation in the so-called elite circle for the past 3 years. Today is my 28th birthday, and it's also the day I plan to propose to Lin Wan. Outside the window, a torrential rain of late autumn in Shanghai was pounding against the floor-to-ceiling windows, like countless ghosts trying to rush in. Soothing Lisa Ono music flowed through the restaurant, and every lazy jazz phrase seemed to mock my current disheveled state. I looked at the woman I had loved for 5 years. She is the marketing director of a well-known internet company, decisive and impeccably made up. But at this moment, because of a phone call from another man, she was so anxious that her eyeliner was about to smudge. 37.2 degrees. I took a napkin and slowly wiped my cuff. Lin Wan, as the upper limit of a normal human body temperature, that doesn't even count as a low-grade fever. When I had an acute appendicitis attack last week and went to the hospital for an 4 drip alone, where were you? You were accompanying Ming to an art exhibition because he said he couldn't understand Monet and felt anxious. Lin Wan was stunned for a moment. Then a flash of annoyed disgust crossed her eyes. Are you going to bring up old scores again? Ming has depressive tendencies. Art is redemption for him. What does a project manager like you, who only knows how to code, understand about spiritual resonance? Chenyu, I always thought you were a mature man, but I didn't expect you to be so petty. She grabbed the limited edition Hermes Birkin bag, which was the apology gift I bought her last month by overdrawing my year-end bonus, although I still don't know what I did wrong. Eat this meal by yourself. Just looking at you makes me lose my appetite. The sound of high heels clicking on the marble floor faded away, like a series of rapid slaps. I sat in my original seat, looking at the empty chair opposite me and the bouquet of red roses on the side of the table that I hadn't had time to give her. The waiter came over, his face full of hesitant sympathy. Sir, should I still bring out the cake? Bring it. I smiled and threw the diamond ring engraved with our initials into the red wine glass. Pack it up and feed it to the dogs. When I walked out of the restaurant, the rain was falling even harder. The neon lights of the Magic City blurred into grotesque patches of color in the rain screen, much like a texture error in a cyberpunk game. I didn't take a taxi. I just walked in the rain. My phone vibrated. It was a message from the company's main group chat. Right? In this era hailed as the first year of the metaverse. Only work won't betray you. The AI emotional interaction project I was in charge of was in full swing, and the client was pushing harder than a grim reaper. Chenyu rolled back the server-side data. Mr. Gu said the experience is not good. It was Ming again. This guy returned to the country 6 months ago with the title of Overseas Elite, but in reality, he was just a compulsive gambler who couldn't make it abroad. But he had a silver tongue and a sucker like Lin Wan. He was now a special consultant for our company, specifically responsible for finding fault with my project. I turned off my phone, not wanting to reply. Just then, the phone rang again. Did I think it was Lin Wan having a change of heart? No, I had already blacklisted that exclusive ringtone. A strange number flashed on the screen, the location showing Los Angeles, USA. I hesitated for a moment and answered, "Hello." A burst of rapid breathing came through the receiver, mixed with static, and a voice so sweet it made one's bones go soft, as if it had been forcibly dug out from the depths of memory from many years ago. Brother, it's me. My steps faltered, and my heart contracted violently. Jiang Cha, the little sister from next door who was sent abroad 6 years ago and always followed me around shouting, "I'm going to marry Brother when I grow up. I'm at the Bulgari Hotel. I'm in so much pain. Brother, my stomach hurts so much, I don't know who to call. I just got back to the country, and I only have a number in my phone." Her voice was choked with sobs, as soft and sticky as a piece of melting toffee, and also like some kind of carefully concocted poison. "Don't panic. Have you called 120? I asked calmly, out of professional habit. "I am scared. I don't dare to go to the hospital alone. Brother, can you come and see me? Please." A cry of pain, suppressed with great effort, was followed by the muffled sound of the phone falling onto the carpet. In that instant, the image of Lin Wan's resolute back as she left for Ming flashed through my mind. To hell with being mature and sensible. Wait for me, 20 minutes. I hailed a taxi and gave the address. The executive suite at the Bulgari Hotel. The moment I swiped open the door, a sophisticated fragrance blending citrus and sandalwood washed over me. The heating was turned up high, instantly dispelling the damp chill clinging to my body. Only a dim floor lamp was on in the room. Jiang Cha was curled up on a large, dark gray bed, wrapped loosely in a silk bathrobe. Hearing the noise, she lifted her head with difficulty. That one glance stole my breath. The scrawny, bean-sprout-like girl from my memory was gone. Before me was a girl with long hair spread like seaweed across the pillow. Her skin so pale it was almost translucent, glowing with a porcelain-like sheen under the lamplight. She wore no makeup, but her face was flushed an unnatural red from pain, teardrops clinging to the corners of her eyes. Those peach blossom eyes, damp and glistening, looked at me like a startled fawn or perhaps a fairy awaiting a hunter. "You Gidge." She reached out a hand, her wrist so slender it seemed it might snap with a touch. I hurried over, wanted to support her, but stopped by the bedside because of my soaked clothes. "I'm dirty." "I don't mind." Suddenly, with force, Jiang Cha grabbed my hand. Her palm was scorching hot, soft and boneless. Using my strength, she tried to sit up, but the oversized bathrobe slipped, its collar plunging downward. A vast expanse of delicate, snowy white crashed into my view without warning. It was the most lethal curve, caught between a girl's innocence and a woman's allure. The black lace edges peaked faintly, like poppies blooming in snow. I instinctively turned my head away, my throat feeling dry. "Get your clothes on properly first. I'll take you to the hospital. I have no strength." Her voice was so soft it could drip water, carrying a hint of grievance. "The buttons are in the back. I can't reach them. You Gidge, please help me." That tone, that look, if it were someone with less self-control, they'd probably be done for on the spot. I took a deep breath, reminding myself this was the girl next door, the little kid I watched grow up. Clumsily, I helped her gather the bathrobe, my fingers inevitably brushing against the skin of her back. Smooth, warm, like a piece of heated jade. With every touch, she would tremble lightly, emitting a very soft nasal sound. That sound was like a feather, tickling the very core of my heart. "You Gidge, your hand are so cool. It feels so nice." She turned her head, her lips less than 5 centimeters from my face. I could even smell the faint hint of mint on her breath. "Don't mess around." I took a somewhat flustered step back, my heartbeat unnaturally fast. "Let's go." To the hospital. I took off my trench coat and wrapped it around her. The coat still carried the dampness of rain and a faint scent of tobacco, yet she buried her face deep into the collar, as if inhaling some exquisite perfume, taking a deep breath. "You Gidge scent," she murmured, her eyes dazed. I didn't dare respond, helping her out the door. In the car, she clung tightly to my sleeve, her body practically pressed against mine. The taxi driver glanced at us several times in the rearview mirror, his eyes clearly saying, "Young people these days really know how to have fun." We arrived at the emergency department of the nearest top-tier hospital. I supported Jiang Cha to the registration desk. She seemed genuinely in pain, leaning her whole weight on me, that pair of soft, full curves pressing tightly against my arm, rubbing gently with each step. My entire body stiffened. I kept my eyes straight ahead, silently reciting core code in my mind to suppress the restlessness within. "Ouch, slow down," I said softly. "You Gidge, you're so good." Jiang Cha looked up, giving me a sweet smile that held an indescribable, sly glint. Just as we turned the corner in the emergency hall, the cliché, "It's a small world," once again revealed its malice to me. 2 people walked toward us. The man was tall and handsome, but leaned weakly against the woman, looking frail. The woman wore professional attire, her brow furrowed, holding a registration slip. It was Ming and Lin Wan. Our eyes met. The air froze for a full 3 seconds. Lin Wan's gaze fell on my hand supporting Jiang Cha's waist, then on the obviously male trench coat belonging to me that Jiang Cha wore, finally settling on Jiang Cha's face. pale yet stunning enough to captivate anyone. At this moment, Jiang Cha, with disheveled hair, dazed eyes, wrapped in a man's coat, a section of pale calf exposed, looked for all the world like she had just emerged from some indescribable scene. Chinyu, Lin Wan's voice was as sharp as nails on glass. You said you were going home. Who is this? The fury in her eyes could practically set the hospital on fire. 1 moment ago, she was raging at me for not understanding her male best friend. The next moment, seeing someone else by my side, she instantly became like a cat with its tail stepped on. Such is human nature. I can discard you, but you cannot have someone else. Before I could speak, Jiang Cha, my arms moved first. She flinched back into my arms as if frightened, her peach blossom eyes instantly filling with tears as she looked timidly at Lin Wan. Brother, who is this Annie? She's so fierce. Is she your boss? Annie, that was a critical hit. Lin Wan was only a year older than me and paid the utmost attention to her appearance. Calling her auntie made her lose her composure completely. Who are you calling Annie? You little vixen. Lin Wan trembled with rage, pointing a finger at Jiang Cha as she lunged forward. Guming quickly pulled her back. His eyes swept over Jiang Cha, a flash of admiration in them, which was quickly replaced by a pained expression as he looked at me. Chinyu, this is your fault. Wan has been running around tirelessly because of my illness. Not only are you not considerate, but you're fooling around outside. You're too irresponsible. He was quick to place the blame. I sneered and was about to speak, but Jiang Cha beat me to it. She peeked out from my arms, blinking her large, innocent eyes at Gu Ming. Brother, are you mistaken? Brother, you only brought me here because I'm sick. As for you, you look flushed and full of energy. You don't look sick at all. On the contrary, this Annie has such dark circles under her eyes. Has she been worn out by you? As she spoke, she deliberately wrapped my trench coat tighter around herself, revealing a swan-like neck with a red mark on it from the car ride. It was actually from the seatbelt, but in the ambiguous lighting, it looked exactly like a hickey. Besides, Jiang Cha's voice was soft, but every word was a dagger. It's Brother Yu's birthday today. As his girlfriend and friend, instead of celebrating with him, you two came to the hospital together. Could it be that you two are the ones in that kind of relationship? What nonsense are you talking? Lin Wan shrieked. Gu Ming and I are innocent. We are soulmates. Oh, soulmates. Jiang Cha drew out the word, her eyes filled with mockery. Then what does that make Brother Yu? A physical partner? But from what I saw, Brother Yu is a perfect gentleman to me at the hotel just now. Not at all like someone desperate. On the other hand, this brother has been leaning in the Annie's arms the whole time. Are you calcium deficient? Buffed. An old man in the queue nearby couldn't help but laugh out loud. The surrounding people all turned to watch the drama unfold, some even taking out their phones to record. Gu Ming's face turned red and then white. A male green tea of his level could handle a straightforward person like Lin Wan, but against a max-level female green tea like Jiang Cha, it was like a bronze player meeting a king. His eyes darted around, and then he suddenly clutched his chest, his body going limp as he prepared to fall into Lin Wan's arms. Wan, my chest hurts. I think it's from the anger. Gu Ming, what's wrong? Lin Wan panicked, catching him in her arms. She turned to glare at me. Chinyu, look what you've done. If anything happens to Gu Ming, I'm not finished with you. Watching this scene, I suddenly felt it was utterly absurd, and yet incredibly liberating. In the past, I would have frantically tried to explain, would have apologized meekly. But now, feeling the warmth from Jiang Cha's arm, the tightly wound string inside me finally snapped. Lin Wan, I said calmly, my voice not loud, but it cut through the noisy crowd. Let's break up. Lin Wan froze, as if she hadn't heard me clearly. What did you say? I said, let's break up. I pulled Jiang Cha closer into my arms, fighting back for the first time in front of everyone. Since you two are soulmates, I'll grant you your wish. Also, Gu Ming's acting is wasted by not being an extra at Hundian World Studios. I saw him scrolling through WeChat on his phone with one hand while registering just now. And now his chest hurts? Chest pain belongs in cardiology. This is the gastroenterology department. At least check the department sign before you start your act. A wave of laughter erupted from the crowd. Gu Ming couldn't keep up the pretense, his eyelashes fluttering, unsure whether to wake up or continue fainting. Lin Wan's face was deathly pale. She stared at me as if seeing me for the first time. Chinyu, you'll regret this. Without me, you're nothing in Shanghai. Then you don't have to worry about it, President Lin, I said, turning to help Jiang Cha towards the doctor's office. Brother, you were so manly, Jiang Cha whispered in my ear, her breath like an orchid. That auntie's face turned green. It was so satisfying. I glanced down at her. This girl, who had just been a picture of helpless fragility, now had a glint of excitement in her eyes, like a little fox that had just successfully stolen a chicken. You're no slouch yourself, I said in a low voice. Of course. Jiang Cha rubbed against my shoulder matter-of-factly. For brother you, I could be any kind of lamp you need. But now, my stomach really hurts. My heart softened, and I sighed. Let's go, the doctor is waiting. Behind me in the hallway, Lin Wan was still hysterically shouting my name, but I didn't look back once. That night, I didn't realize that this farce at the hospital was just the beginning. That short video clip was posted online by a passerby, with a caption, "An epic catfight. Domineering female CEO scolds her official boyfriend for her male bestie, only to be countered by the ultimate scheming vixen." Because it involved viral keywords like strong woman, weak man, male bestie, and scheming vixen, the video shot to the top of the city's trending topics in just a few hours. When I went to the company the next day, the atmosphere in the entire office felt dreadfully heavy. As soon as I sat down at my desk, the HR director walked over with heavy steps. Chinyu, come to my office. The colleagues around me cast complicated glances, some of sympathy, some of schadenfreude, and others who were just enjoying the drama. As I passed the break room, I overheard two interns whispering, "Did you see that video? Manager Chin usually looks so honest. I didn't expect him to be so ruthless. That girl is absolutely stunning. If it were me, I'd choose her too. Who can stand Director Lin's temper? She'll keep it down." Director Lin looks furious today. I heard consultant Gu didn't come in, took a sick day. Entering the HR office, as expected, a suspension for reflection notice was waiting for me. The reason, personal private life affecting the company's image. Chinyu, you know our company is preparing for an IPO. Image is very important. The HR director sighed. This is blown up, and the higher-ups are very displeased. Especially Director Lin. She's the head of the marketing department, and this has hit her hard. Why don't you take some time off for now? We'll talk again after things have cooled down. Looking at the notice, I felt surprisingly calm. This is the workplace. You can be competent, but if you offend someone more powerful, your competence is worthless. Lin Wan is a company veteran who holds key client resources. Although Gu Ming is an incompetent fool, he has Lin Wan backing him up. And I'm just a worker bee. Fine, I'll sign. I picked up the pen and signed my name crisply. As I was packing my things to leave the company, I ran into Lin Wan at the elevators. She looked much more haggard, the dark circles under her eyes too pronounced for concealer to hide. Seeing me holding a cardboard box, her gaze flickered as if she wanted to say something, but in the end, she bit her lip and put on a superior air. "Chinyu, this is the price for your impulsiveness," she said coldly. "As long as you apologize to Gu Ming right now and admit that you misunderstood us, I can plead with the boss to let you stay." I looked at her, and she felt like a complete stranger. "Lin Wan, to this day, you still think this is a misunderstanding? What else could it be? Gu Ming is very fragile. He needs to be taken care of. Why can't you be more magnanimous? Leave magnanimity to the saints. I'm only human." The elevator doors opened. Just as I was about to step in, my phone suddenly rang. It was a video call request. The caller ID was Cha. I answered it right in front of Lin Wan. Jiang Cha's bright and captivating face appeared on the screen. She was wearing a loose white t-shirt, and the background appeared to be an extremely luxurious villa living room. "Brother you, did you see the news? That video went viral," she said, excitedly waving a small spoon. "Oh, are you off work? I made your favorite lotus root and pork rib soup, but I think I added too much salt. Can you come over and teach me how to fix it?" Her voice, crisp and pleasant, echoed in the dead-silent elevator lobby. Lin Wan's face instantly turned ashen. "I'm packing my things. I was just suspended," I said flatly. On the other end of the screen, Jiang Cha froze for a moment, then the smile in her eyes deepened, even carrying a hint of fanaticism. Suspended? That's great. Huh. I mean, what a pity. Jiang Cha stuck out her tongue. Then her expression became unusually serious, even carrying the certainty of someone in a superior position. Brother you, since that crappy company doesn't appreciate you, come and help me. As it happens, I have a small business deal to discuss, and I'm in need of someone who understands technology and people's hearts. What business? Jiang Cha leaned closer to the camera, the corners of her mouth curling into a mysterious arc, looking just like a little demon preparing to pounce. A small business deal worth a few $100 million. About how to take back what belongs to me. Before I could react, Lin Wan had already rushed over, trying to snatch my phone. Chin you dare go with this vixen? What can she give you? What can she do besides act cute? Jiang Cha seemed to have heard Lin Wan's voice. She let out a scornful laugh from the screen. Andy, there's a lot I can do. For example, I can audit accounts. Lin Wan froze. Brother Gu Ming's messy accounts overseas and the money he laundered under the company's name. Andy, you don't really think he came back to the country because he loves you, do you? In that instant, the light in Lin Wan's eyes shattered. What did you say? Lin Wan's voice trembled as if a hand was wrapped around her throat. What messy accounts? What money laundering? On the screen, Jiang Cha nonchalantly stirred the soup in her bowl, her tone as light as if she were discussing the weather. Oh, I'm not too clear on the specifics myself. After all, I'm just a naive little sister. But brother you is so capable. I'm sure you'll understand everything once you take a look at the financial statements of brother Gu Ming's shell company, right? After speaking, she winked at me. Brother you, I've sent the address to your WeChat. Remember to bring your laptop. This is our pledge of allegiance. The video call ended. The elevator doors slowly closed, shutting Lin Wan's terrified, contorted, and bewildered face from view. I stood in the elevator, holding the cardboard box, watching the numbers descend. The frustration that had been suppressed in my heart for so long actually began to dissipate, bit by bit, as the elevator went down. I walked out of the office building. The sunlight was blinding. I hailed a cab and headed straight for the address Jiang Cha had sent. It was an area of old Western-style villas in the western suburbs of Shanghai, where every inch of land was worth a fortune. The taxi stopped in front of an ornate wrought iron gate. Just as I got out, the gate slowly swung open automatically. Passing through a meticulously manicured French-style courtyard, I saw Jiang Cha sitting in a wicker chair on the terrace, holding a cup of black tea. A huge Doberman pinscher lay at her feet. She had changed her clothes. A black velvet slip dress made her skin look whiter than snow. Her long hair was casually tied up, with a few loose strands falling by her ears. The sunlight fell on her, making her look both saintly and bewitching. The Doberman saw me and pricked up its ears warily, a low growl rumbling in its throat. Bobby, be quiet. Jiang Cha gently patted the dog's head, her voice languid. He's one of us. The Doberman immediately and obediently lay back down. I walked onto the terrace and put down the cardboard box in my hands. This place, is it your home? I looked around. This villa had to be worth at least 9 figures, and it wasn't something you could necessarily buy even if you had the money. You could say that. Jiang Cha put down her teacup and pointed to the chair opposite her. It's part of the dowry my grandfather left me. But her eyes darkened. Now someone wants to take it away. I sat down and looked at her. What you said on the phone earlier, is it true? Of course. Jiang Cha pulled a stack of documents from a file folder behind her and pushed it in front of me. Gu Ming racked up a mountain of gambling debt in America. Even his green card was revoked. He came back to China just to find a long-term meal ticket. That foolish woman, Lin Wan, not only helped him pay off his debts, but also used her position to give several of the company's outsourced projects to Gu Ming's shell company. This is a classic case of embezzlement and money laundering. I flipped through the documents, my alarm growing with every page. The data was terrifyingly detailed, even including Gu Ming's transaction records from casinos in the United States. How did you get all this? I looked up, staring at her in shock. Jiang Cha smiled, a coldness in her expression that belied her age. Brother you, did you think I was on vacation these past few years abroad? I was pursuing a double major in finance and criminal psychology. Besides, the loan shark Gu Ming borrowed from The man behind it happens to be an old subordinate of my grandfather's. She stood up, walked behind me, and placed her hands on my shoulders, leaning down to whisper in my ear, "Brother you, I know that your AI project's core algorithm is actually finished. It's just that Lin Wan is holding it back from going live because she wants to give the credit to Gu Ming, right?" My body stiffened. This was the deepest wound in my heart, and the reason I had endured in silence for so long. "How do you know?" "Because I've been watching you." Jiang Cha's fingers traced lightly across my neck, sending a shiver down my spine. "From the very first day I returned to the country, I've been observing you. I know what time you work overtime until every day. I know you like the iced Americano from the convenience store downstairs, and I know you've hidden a backdoor in your code that only you know about." She moved around to face me, planting her hands on the table and looking directly into my eyes. A flame of ambition flickered in her alluring eyes. "Brother you, let's work together. You help me get back my family inheritance, and I'll help you ruin Gu Ming and Lin Wan, get your AI project launched in grand style, and with your name as the sole author." "Your family inheritance?" I caught the main point. "Didn't you say your parents were dead and your grandfather took you abroad?" "Yes." A self-deprecating smile touched the corner of Jiang Cha's lips. "But my dear uncle, while my grandfather was gravely ill, forged his will, trying to kick my brother and me out of the family. My bookworm brother only knows academia. He's no match for that pack of old foxes. So I came back. So that was it. The frail, helpless, needs-to-be-cared-for girl next door was just a disguise. The real Jiang Cha was a black rose with thorns, a beautiful, dormant serpent. But I wasn't repulsed. On the contrary, I felt a long-lost excitement. After being so submissive in the workplace for so many years, after being gaslit by Lin Wan for so many years, I wanted to go crazy for once too. "Deal." I extended my hand. Jiang Cha grasped it, her palm still searing hot. She used the momentum to pull me up, pressing her whole body against mine. "Then it's a deal, my partner." Her breath sprayed onto my chin, her gaze intense. "But right now, there's something more important." "What?" "That lotus root and pork rib soup is really too salty." She looked at me, aggrieved. "Brother you have to be responsible for my dinner." For the next half-month, Jiang Cha and I began a meticulous hunting game. During the day, I holed up in that foreign-style house, using the servers Jiang Cha provided and my skills to track the flow of funds in Gu Ming's company and gather evidence of Lin Wan's embezzlement. Jiang Cha, meanwhile, was busy navigating various high-society circles, using her harmless appearance to extract intelligence from business tycoons and lay the groundwork for retaking control of her family's enterprise. At night, we would review the day's progress together. Sometimes it was over red wine on the terrace, other times it was writing and drawing on a whiteboard in the study. That kind of chemistry made me feel an unprecedented sense of comfort. Unlike Lin Wan's high-pressure control, Jiang Cha was more like a comrade in arms, or even a soulmate who knew how to please me. She would bring me a perfect cup of coffee when I was stuck on my code. She would use her soft fingers to massage my temples when I was tired. She would even, late at night, wearing that silk nightgown that made my blood boil, sit across from me, looking at me with a half-smile, and ask if I wanted to take a break. But I always maintained a final line of defense. I knew that a woman like Jiang Cha was too dangerous. Once you fell in, there might not even be bones left. Until that rainy night, Lin Wan suddenly sent me a WeChat message. It was a picture of her on an 4-drip in the hospital with the caption, "Chinyu, I feel so sick. I miss you. Gu Ming." He lied to me. Looking at the message, I felt surprisingly calm, even a little amused. What? Rekindling an old flame. Jiang Cha had appeared behind me at some point, holding 2 glasses of whiskey. She glanced at my phone screen, a sarcastic smile playing on her lips. "No." I turn off my phone. I just find it laughable. Men, always so soft-hearted. Jiang Cha handed me a glass and sat down on my lap. This time, I didn't push her away. Thunder rumbled outside, and the rain poured down in sheets. Jiang Cha wrapped her arms around my neck, her eyes hazy. "Brother you, did you know? That day at the hospital, I provoked Lin Wan on purpose." "I know. I also know you left a backdoor in the code. As long as you activate it at a specific time, the entire company's servers will crash. You know that too?" "I also know." Jiang Cha's fingers slowly undid the first button of my shirt. That you've actually wanted to sleep with me for a long time, haven't you? Boom! A bolt of lightning tore across the night sky, illuminating her stunning face. I looked at her, my Adam's apple bobbing. Jiang Cha, we're playing with fire. Then let's make the fire burn brighter. She lowered her head and kissed my lips. That kiss, carrying the spiciness of whiskey, the dampness of the rainy night, and the thrill of revenge, instantly ignited all the desires I had long suppressed. I suddenly grabbed the back of her head, taking control, frantically plundering her breath. If this was already hell, then let's revel in it. 3,000 words omitted here, concerning their emotional and physical explosion on the rainy night, the subtle changes in their relationship afterward, and the more tightly bound interests and emotional entanglements. The next morning, I was awakened by a shrill, ringing phone. Jiang Cha was curled up in my arms like a cat, fast asleep. I carefully slipped my arm out and picked up the phone. It was a former colleague from the company. Brother Chun, something big has happened. The company's system crashed. All the data is locked. The only thing on the screen is a single line of text. Payback time. Director Lin is going crazy. She's looking for you everywhere. The corner of my mouth lifted into a smirk. That was my backdoor program activating. But I didn't trigger it manually. It was on a timer. If I didn't input a specific command in the background for half a month straight, it would activate automatically. This was originally a safety measure I put in place to prevent Lin Wan from kicking me out. I never thought I'd actually have to use it. Tell Director Lin I'm busy. After hanging up, I saw Jiang Cha looking at me with wide eyes, a smile playing in them. As it started, her voice was husky, with a hint of lazy sexiness. It started. I leaned down and kissed her on the forehead. Time to get up, my queen. Today is the perfect day for you to go to the company and save the day. Jiang Cha's plan was this. Using the system crisis, she would step in as an investor, not only injecting capital to solve the company's broken cash flow problem, which was actually the hole left by Lin Wan's embezzlement, but also seizing control of the company in the process, kicking out Lin Wan and Gu Ming. And I, as the only tech guru capable of cracking this virus, would make a king's return. We washed up and changed into our sharp, professional battle attire. Jiang Cha wore a white suit, radiating power, a complete departure from the little woman who had begged for mercy in his arms last night. When we arrived downstairs at the company, a crowd of reporters had already gathered. Clearly, news of the system crash and suspected financial fraud had leaked. We entered the building under the escort of bodyguards. In the conference room, the atmosphere was as heavy as a memorial service. Lin Wan's hair was a mess, her eyes bloodshot, completely stripped of her usual refined appearance. Gu Ming cowered in a corner, trembling. The boss was furious. Seeing me walk in, Lin Wan lunged at me as if I were her last hope. Chenyu, you're finally here. Quick, fix the system. I know it was you. Only you can fix it. I sidestepped her hand, looking at her coldly. Director Lin, I'm no longer an employee of this company. Besides, fixing the system comes with a fee. I'll pay anything, as long as you can fix it. Lin Wan screamed hysterically. Notarus. Jiang Cha, in her high heels, walked gracefully to the head of the conference table, the boss's seat. The boss was taken aback. Who are you? Allow me to introduce myself. Jiang Cha took off her sunglasses, revealing a charming smile. I am the representative of the Jiang Group, Jiang Cha, and the largest creditor of this company. She slammed a thick file onto the table. According to my investigation, your company's marketing director, Lin Wan, in collusion with her boyfriend Gu Ming, is suspected of embezzling $35 million in public funds, causing the company's cash flow to break. At the same time, due to mismanagement, core technical personnel were lost, leading to the system's collapse. I now have the right to demand immediate repayment of the debt. Otherwise, I will file for bankruptcy liquidation. The room fell into a dead silence. The boss's face instantly turned ghastly pale. He whipped his head around to look at Lin Wan. $35 million. Lin Wan, are you insane? Lin Wan collapsed to the floor, looking at Jiang Cha in disbelief, then at me standing behind her. You're in this together. You got it. Jiang Cha walked up to Lin Wan, looking down at her. Auntie, I told you I would audit the accounts. See? I didn't lie to you, did I? Seeing things were going south, Gu Ming tried to sneak away. Mr. Gu, where are you going? I blocked the doorway, dangling a USB drive in my hand. This contains all your criminal records from the United States, as well as evidence of your falsified academic credentials and investment fraud. The police are already downstairs. Why don't you? Go have a chat with them. Gu Ming's legs gave out, and he fell to his knees. That day, a spectacular drama unfolded at the company. As Lin Wan and Gu Ming were being led away by the police, Lin Wan kept looking back at me. Her eyes were filled with regret, unwillingness, and a hint of belated affection. But I just watched her calmly, as if looking at a stranger. Some mistakes, once made, can never be undone. Half a year later, my AI project, Soulmate, was officially launched. It surpassed 100 million downloads on its first day, becoming the year's phenomenal product. I became the new star of the tech world, my net worth soaring. And Jiang Cha successfully regained control of her family's enterprise, becoming a true female CEO. At the celebration party, we clinked glasses on the terrace. Congratulations, CEO Chen, Jiang Cha said, her smile as bright as a flower, the sly glint in her eyes still present. Same to you, Chairman Jiang. I gently tapped her glass with mine. By the way, that Jiang Cha suddenly became a little coy. Although my second uncle was driven away, he left me a mess. Those old-timers in the family are pushing for marriage, saying that a woman like me can't hold the fort, and they insist on arranging blind dates for me. She secretly glanced at me, her fingers restlessly drawing circles on the back of my hand. That, Xinyu, do you want to marry into my family? I was stunned for a moment, then smiled. Marrying into your family is not necessary. I put down my wine glass, wrapped my arm around her waist, and pulled her into my embrace. However, I don't mind marrying a billionaire and helping her hold the fort. Jiang Cha's eyes lit up, and she stood on her tiptoes to kiss me. You said it. It's sealed and effective, no takebacks. Under the moonlight, her smile was more brilliant than ever. I think this is the best ending. Green tea can be toxic, but if she is toxic for you, then it is the sweetest antidote in the world. As for Lin Wan and Gu Ming, I heard that they're living a fulfilling life in prison and have become legal popularization propagandists there, using their own experiences to teach everyone not to be simps, and especially not to be green tea. It can be considered making the best use of everything. The end.